Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'll be building our latest FFR SC1 chassis variant, sized to fit MPC 1969 Dodge Charger model kits. This has been a highly requested car to have a chassis made for, so I'm excited to be able to share the STL files with all of you, as well as build one of these iconic muscle cars in 1/25th scale. The Dodge Charger is a car that probably doesn't need much introduction. Over the years, the nameplate has been plastered on everything from sporty sedans, front-wheel drive sports coupes, and personal luxury cars, but when I think of Dodge Charger, this is the car that comes to mind. The second generation Charger, which spans the 1968 through 1970 model years, is my favorite. To me, it's a quintessential muscle car, right up there with the GTO and Chevelle SS. They changed various minor elements of the exterior, such as the grille and taillights, over the 3 years they offered the second-gen Charger. I know some people have very strong opinions as to which year looks the best. To me, they all look awesome, and there are a variety of Dodge Charger model kits available. Let's dive right into the model kit that I'll be using for this build, which is this MPC 1969 Charger. This is a recent release by Round 2, and it's available in a few different variations. This City Slicker version that I have here is a snap-together model and doesn't have the detail you'd find in other kits, such as an opening hood and an engine. Of course, for an RC build, these often won't be needed anyways, so this makes a nice inexpensive kit to use for a body. The box art looks awesome, and inside all the parts look great. Each of the parts are molded in color, as you can see. Looking at the body, it's nowhere near as nice as it would look if it was painted. There's some mold lines and other imperfections visible on the body. You can also almost see like some swirls in the plastic. Of course, you don't have to paint it. It does look kind of cool in this blue color, but I'll definitely be painting my car. Again, being that this is a lower detail snap kit, it doesn't include all of the tiny parts that you'd see in other kits, but what is here is very nice. This hole in the gauge was the only flaw that I noticed in this kit. When you build your chassis, all of the parts will be sized to fit this body. However, for me, I needed to measure the wheelbase and width. Since this car is so simple to put together, I went ahead and assembled the wheels and axle and measured the wheelbase. We have a variety of different size FFR SC1 chassis parts available that will fit many model car bodies if you'll be doing a custom build. After getting those measurements, I printed all of the parts that I'll be using for this build, including parts for both a street version and a drag version. Here's a look at all the parts. I did my best to make sure they were printed well, and all of the parts look great. I put aside the drag chassis parts as I'll be assembling them in an upcoming video. For now, I dove right into assembling the street version, starting with the rear axle. As I've already posted a tutorial video showing the assembly process of an FFR SC1 chassis, I won't be going into a ton of detail in this video. The assembly process for this chassis is the same as the fully FDM 3D printable FFR SC1 chassis that I've made previously. One thing to note is that due to the length of the rear axle I'm using for this car, I chose to use a 80mm threaded rear axle shaft rather than the shorter axle shaft included in the FFR SC1 hardware and non-printable parts kit. With the back looking good, I moved on to assembling the front suspension and steering assembly, starting with the knuckles. I ended up needing to drill out some of the holes in the tie rods and the center link ends in order to allow the steering to move smoothly. I mention this because it's important to make sure that everything is functioning as it should throughout the build process. If you noticed resistance or a lot of slop in the steering, You'll want to correct that before moving forward with the build. Those issues aren't going to magically fix themselves when the chassis is all together, and the steering will be affected if it can't move smoothly. I also made sure here that the bearings would be able to slide smoothly up and down on the knuckles, removing any material on the edge that was necessary. I like to apply a little Loctite to prevent the nuts from coming loose. The steering can move nice and smooth with minimal play. At this stage, the front suspension and steering assembly is complete. Before mounting it to the chassis, I needed to cut the drive shaft to the correct length and then install the motor and drive shaft. It took a little fine-tuning, but it's in. Up next is the steering servo. To finish up the chassis, I'll be installing some classic 5T wheels and silicone tires. I want to go for a classic look with this build. And here's a look at the finished chassis, ready for electronics and the body to be mounted. You'll find links to the STL files, chassis kit, and other products I used below in the description for anyone interested in doing a similar build. I know this has been a highly requested car to have a FFR SC1 chassis sized for, so I hope you all enjoy, and I look forward to seeing all the Chargers that you build. As for what I have planned, well, you're gonna have to wait and see, but it should be pretty cool. I know some people are probably wondering whether or not other 1/25th scale, 68, 69, and 70 Charger model kits will fit this chassis, and at this time I'm not sure. In theory they should, however there could be enough dimensional differences that they don't quite fit. If you use another model kit and it does fit, please let us know as we can add it to the list of compatible model kits. I know Revell makes a 68 Charger kit that's apparently very well liked, so fingers crossed that that one will fit. And don't forget, I've still got that drag chassis to complete as well. That will be a very special build, as that chassis is going to another RC YouTube channel for what I'm sure will be an awesome build. We'll be having some tandem 69 Charger micro RC build content for all of you to enjoy, so be on the lookout for that for sure. Of course, more on that in an upcoming video. I want to thank you all very much for the support lately. We sold quite a few t-shirts last week, which is awesome. Again, I really can't thank you all enough for the support. We're going to do another 48-hour sale this week, so be sure to use the code in the description for $2 off. That's going to be all for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, good luck with your build, and I'll see you next time.